question we get a lot is, am I too old to start jiu-jitsu? I'll be perfectly honest. It depends on how old you are. What I mean by that is it depends how old you are biologically, mentally, emotionally. We have a few guys on the mat. We have one guy, Brian, who I think he's like 61, 62, and that dude took 2 classes last night, and he crushed it. He made progress in both. That's incredible. Now, he's an exceptional 62-year-old because most people that age have stopped pursuing something new. They've stopped the physical suffering, which is fine. I mean, that's the natural path of things. But for some people who still have that athletic drive, that need to be a part of a community and pursue this new skill that's very challenging, this is the place for you. And when it comes to the physical side, it really depends. You know, if you are relatively healthy, then yeah, come on in. Find a community that works for you. Find a community that will respect your age and your skill level. And they'll allow you to train at a slow, steady pace because you're more inclined to hurt yourself than other people are based off of the intensity you train with, how often you train, the way you move relative to what you should be moving with in the given moment. If you're acting inefficiently, you run the risk of getting hurt. But there are some people that it's just not for them. We actually had a great conversation last night with one of our members. He was probably 60, 61, and he's trained here for 3 months, and he did an amazing job. He made so much progress. But he has an artificial hip. He had a few other artificial joints, and it got to a point where he just couldn't do it. You know, it hurt too much. He was realizing he couldn't play with his grandkids anymore because he was sore from training. Now, he loved training. He loved the guys. He loved the way that everyone around him acknowledged, like, bro, you're still getting after it at this age. That's amazing. You're an inspiration. He loved all those things. But at the end of the day, his health mattered most. And he had this artificial hip that just would not allow him to train. So jiu-jitsu was not for him. But it's for a lot of people. And it might be for you. And if you feel the need where you're on the couch and you're like, man, I need to try something new, jiu-jitsu is a great way to do it because there's so many different ways to do jiu-jitsu that you can find a mode of play that works for your body and your goals. And it mainly happens on the ground. So there's a lot less kinetic energy than, say, a standing martial art, like a wrestling or striking. Because if you're on the ground, you're on your knees or you're on your back, which means it's not a lot of stress on the joints in that way. Now, things like arm bars and foot locks, yeah, absolutely. That puts strain on the joint. But you can come in, you can learn a new skill. You can do it in a way that's safe and slow and effective for your goals that I think most people can still benefit from the art. And especially if you get a group of people, if you have a, say, 50 and older class or a 60 and older class, you can gear the curriculum towards the senior student. And that's when you can really be a special thing. It can be almost like a form of Tai Chi and movement where it's therapy. It's movement therapy for an older member. And that would be my goal. Down the road, I want to serve this entire community of Florence, New Jersey to the furthest extent that we can, which means we're going to have many different offerings based off of the skill and the goal of the individual. So if we have a group of 10, 60-plus-year-olds, we're going to have a 60-plus class. And it's going to be geared toward them to maximize their development in a safe way that works for their goals. So are you too old to do jiu-jitsu? I'm not sure. My answer for most people will be no, but I think there's one way to find out. Take a class, try it out, see how it goes. And you'll know pretty quickly if it works for you or if it doesn't. But for most people, the limiting factor is their mindset. It's usually not their body, and it's a willingness to try something new, to be humbled, to fail, and to be at the mercy of others. What I mean by that is to be dependent upon others, to walk in this door and know that I'm going to need all of you to show me the way. And in a good culture, they will. So I would love to get more older members in our academy. I think a good metric for the health of the community is how many different types of people you have on the mat. I remember last week I was watching our fundamentals no-gi class, and we had 2 women, 2 men over 60 years old. We had a 13-year-old girl, a 14-year-old boy, and then everyone in between, from businessmen and teachers and construction workers. That's awesome. That's what matters, that we're using this as a vehicle to serve a lot of people. So you might not be too old, and the only way to find out is to try it out and find a community that will support you in the pursuit of your goal, and it may be the best thing you've ever done. I know it's been that for me, and I hope you find your way to the mat. Hey friends, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to our page. My goal is to share the positive aspects of jiu-jitsu with as many people as possible. And my hope would be that we can serve you through this medium so that you keep training hard, keep aiming up, and you really understand what jiu-jitsu is in the context of your life. If you like these videos, please like or comment, and I look forward to hearing from you. Be well and keep aiming up.